again. I kept farming potatoes, and in a matter of days, Squid Kid's fleet was almost completely destroyed. And yet Squid Kid himself had no idea. He even put a billboard on his island, #1 in potatoes. But why would he suspect? Just a few days ago, he'd seen proof on the forums that he was millions in the lead. The poor fool had no idea what was coming. Is it updated? It hasn't updated. Alright, I'm going to the hub. Has it updated?
400 ping.
Yes! #1 in potatoes! To celebrate, I took my 2 alts and my main account, and then I AFK'd on all 3 of them! I think at this point Squid Kid knew that the alts were mine, but he was so confused. Why had Technoblade been AFKing on his island for weeks? He was so confused that he didn't even realize that his potato leaderboard spot had already been taken, so I went to confront him myself one final time. What do you want? Why are you doing this? Your potato rank 1 spot is now mine.
Lol.
He's checking. He's checking.
Lol.
For years, my machinations lay undetected.
OBS. Here's the audio.
This is all I have.
Audio a little bit lower.
Squid, I found a problem. Your island. A critical flaw. Get over here. Over here! Squid, get over here. This sign, it has the wrong number. Pretty bad week for Squid Kid overall, I'd say. First he got arrested, and then I cyberbullied him, but it had to be done. And let me just say, there is no chance of him catching up. I even got 23 minion slots just to bury any hope he had. This spot is mine, and that's the story of how I became #1 on the potato leaderboards, and we lived happily ever after. All the loose ends finally tied together. Well, except for one thing. Oh god, there's another one. There's another Jerry. And he's staring right at me. There's another one. There's a Jerry in the water. No. There's another one out there. I don't understand. What do you want? What do you want? There's another Jerry on the bridge.
Okay, this sounds...
Got me surrounded. I don't understand.
I think there is more to the game, and that was just...
Minecraft is one of the biggest video games right now, and will probably be one of the biggest games in all of video game history. But with every big game, there are always people who will attempt to become the best at it. There are the Tetris...
As soon as you guys will get here, we'll begin the trial. So there we were, a week after SMP Earth began, being put on trial in front of the entire server. You're probably wondering how we got into this situation. Well, I'll tell you. But first,
Hey, you see this video? Yeah,
Only 2 ways you can react to this video. By subscribing or...
Technoblade, where have you been all this time? Well, you see, I've been farming potatoes in Skyblock. That wasn't a joke. It all started months ago. I just got in a set of superior armor and wanted hot potato books to upgrade it. I could have just bought some from the auction like a normal person, but if Hypixel has taught me anything, it's that if you have a problem, the answer is slavery. So I had 20 potato minions with 20 enchanted lava buckets, 20 super compactors, 20 diamond spread-ins, because it's just free money. Get this upgrade. And with this setup, I was making about 242,000 potatoes per day. At this point, I had enough potatoes for my armor. I could have stocked exponentially more resources than the last. So I did what any self-respecting Skyblock player would do, and sat in the shop menu buying ice for 30 minutes.
I played
I'm having fun.
So, yeah, I'm not that bad.
I dropped out of college for this. And after spending many hours and 15 million coins, I finally unlocked the 22nd minion slot. At this point, I thought I had first place in the bag. I mean, there's only a couple of solo players that have 23 minion slots, and I figured if anyone went to that much trouble to get more minion slots, they'd probably spend it on a minion that actually makes money, like clay minions. But I thought to myself, you know what? I'm gonna go even more overkill, alright? I'm gonna upgrade my level 7 potato minions to level 9. Now you might be thinking to yourself, oh, Technoblade, isn't that obvious? Isn't it just more potatoes? Why wouldn't you do that immediately? No, it's not, alright? Upgrading past level 7 on minions never makes sense. You're never getting that money back because upgrading cost over 100,000 potatoes just to get to potato 9. That'll take over 2 months to get that money back, over 8 months for level 11. It's just a bad idea. Oh, but Technoblade, isn't that just a long-term investment? No, it's not. Remember Cactus Farms? Remember how they were great for like 5 days and then the admins obliterated them in an update? Yeah, you really think your dreams are gonna go that long without getting crushed by the admins? No, you're never seeing that money again. I'm sorry, it's gone. But I wasn't farming potatoes for profit. I was farming them for honor, for glory. So I started upgrading them to level 9. My last hidden weapon was the Farming Crystal, which increases the speed of nearby farming minions by 10%. I could only fit 12 minions in that radius, but I thought, you know what? Whatever. I'll just make a second farm crystal. Here we go! Oh, okay. No, I'm glad Skyblock tells you that after you make a second crystal. I mean, it's not like you could just tell me that after I make the first crystal. Whatever. It's not a total waste of money. At least I can auction. Thank you, Hypixel. If I wanted to fit all my minions in that 8-block radius, I'd have to think in the 3rd dimension. And so, after restructuring my farm, the potato pyramid was complete, yielding 309,000 potatoes per day. But as an ex-English major, I decided that math wasn't enough to defeat my enemies. I needed to consult the classics. In The Art of War, Sun Tzu says, if you know the enemy and know yourself, you need not fear the result of 100 battles. So I decided to do some investigative journalism. I discovered a forum post from September in which a user named I'm a Squid Kid bragged about being ranked #1 in potatoes. By stalking his profile, I found another post weeks later in which he suggested he was now around 7 million potatoes. By putting these two data values on a grid, I could calculate the slope to estimate his average daily potato yield. It wasn't perfect, but it was the best method I could think of to estimate how strong his potato farm was. I mean, it's not like I could just go to his island and look at it.
Minecraft and Roblox.
Wait, that worked? But what I found shocked me to my very core. No, this can't be. This man made 8 potato 11 minions, and then he painted the Mona Lisa! It was at this moment I realized that I wasn't dealing with a potato madman, but a potato supervillain. At this point I fell into despair. All sense of rationality, even the slightest hope of making his money back. This man had thrown them all away to farm potatoes. I had 2 more minion slots than him, but his minions were so high level that he was still making more potatoes than me at 310,000 potatoes per day. But I wasn't even worried about his potato farm. I mean, I still had some minions to upgrade. I was confident I could make a stronger farm. I was worried about his head start. The month I spent farming the Pigman sword, he'd already been farming potatoes. According to my calculations, he was already 7.5 million potatoes ahead of me. Even if all my minions magically became level 11 at that very moment, it would take 107 days to catch up. I can't go that long without uploading. My fans will murder me. So was that it? Was my quest to become the #1 potato farmer in Skyblock destined to end in failure? No, I refused. The sunk cost fallacy wouldn't allow it. If I wanted to defeat a man that had descended into potato madness, I would have to take his insanity and triple it. It was at this moment I spoke words that had never been uttered in the history of Skyblock. I should get minion expanders. Minion expanders have long been known as the most useless item in Skyblock. So you know how all minions have this like 5x5 area in which they work? They don't actually need this area. They could work with 1 block just as fine, because all they do is break a block, and then they place it right back. They don't need options. So what the minion expander does is it turns that 5x5 area into a 7x7 area. Why? Why would the minion need more options so it doesn't get bored? But with the Slayer update, they added a hidden attribute to minion expanders, which buff minion speed by 5%, which is still garbage. Diamond spreading gives like 5 times the value, and I didn't have enough space to put both of them in my minions. But unfortunately, diamond spreading only gives diamonds. If I wanted to become #1, I'd have to sacrifice all that free money for 5% more potatoes. With the minion expanders taking up so much extra space, the potato pyramid was no longer enough to fit all my minions within the farming crystal's radius. So I built the Potato Dome! Boasting 5 floors, the Potato Dome could fit all 22 expanded minions. And after I'd finished upgrading the rest of them to level 9, the Potato Dome could now produce 337,000 potatoes per day. At this point, the Potato Dome was the most powerful potato farm in Skyblock. I was ranked 20 on the leaderboards and rising fast, and yet I knew, in my heart, that it wasn't enough. It wasn't even close. But what more could I do? Farm potatoes by hand? I actually did for like an hour. It made a tiny dent. Sure, it would have worked eventually, but come on, is mindlessly repeating the same task for hundreds of hours really what Skyblock's all about? Okay, yeah, pretty much, but I wasn't about to do that, man. When I said 100 hours, I was not kidding. And yet, as time went on, it began to seem like that was truly the only way. The opportunity of defeating the enemy is provided by the enemy himself. Sun Tzu. I'd done it. I discovered a critical flaw with Squid Kid's potato farm. His minions were too close together. Now with any other kind of minion, that wouldn't have mattered at all, but potato minions are unique. When they're too close together, they'll start trying to plant in spots the other minions already planted and get stuck in an infinite loop, dragging down the overall farm's potato output by as much as 90%. The reason he hadn't noticed this and was still first place in potatoes is because this only happens when someone is online and on the island, because otherwise Skyblock just runs a calculation to guess how many resources your minions would have made while you were offline. Anyways, he left the door to his AFK machine open, so I left my ult in there. Welcome to the real world, Squid Kid. Okay, can we take a moment to talk about Jerry, alright? I got a Jerry here. I got a Jerry there. There's actually 2 Jerrys in there. I have video evidence, okay? Look at this. He's multiplying. He's undergoing mitosis. But that's not all. The other day I was just minding my business and then... Why is he there? I knew I couldn't rely just on sabotage to get first place, because who knows if there's other people out there just like Squid Kid throwing away everything just to
Later
farm
on,
more
I'll just,
potatoes. So I decided to look into alternate fuel sources for my... With the auction house,
Nothing really
it's
happened
filled
in
with
this thing,
crazy
so
people. Look at this guy. He's bidding
end of the year,
3.9 mil for 26. You think that's
So
bad?
guys, it's the
11 million. I could see someone bidding 7 million on a stack of baked potatoes. 8 million. I could understand that. 11 million. Deranged psychopath. There's no justification. Send this man to prison. After a couple days of minion farming and buying enchanted baked potatoes, we have 102, which in regular potatoes is over 2.6 million, and we can only make 4 maxed potato minions with it. That's all we can make. That's how expensive maxed potato minions.